Howdy, hi, ho, hi. My bad, I was gone for a minute. Good minute, actually. I allergies in the
No,
garden.
that's
No,
not possible. We didn't see anything like that.
Could you have missed it?
No! No way! We checked every part of that room.
Hmm.
a number on this one too. It said number 1. Found in the crew quarters, it said 3 on
You
it.
think there
Well,
might be a third bomb out there somewhere?
I think there's a good chance.
Very well. We should split up and find this other bomb. It could be anywhere.
yeah, I agree.
But even if we do find it, what are we supposed to do?
That is a concern for later. At the moment, our primary concern should be finding it.
You can't fight an enemy you can't see, after all.
Precisely.
All right, I'll head back to the infirmary and let everybody else know.
Please.
How about we set a time to meet back here, just in case? The time we have left until the chromatic doors open is... Let's see...
2 hours. Quite a bit, actually.
1 hour and 57 minutes.
I think approximately half of that should be enough. When we have 1 hour remaining, we should meet back at the infirmary. Acceptable?
That sounds good to me. Right. I'll tell the others, too.
Good. Let's go. I was gone for 40 minutes. I really did just put my head down to try to get rid of my migraine a little bit. I sat on the couch for like 20 minutes. Mentamori of the Ninth Lion. So these are the white doors that Kay and Clover were talking about? Yeah, there's a lock thing. No question, there are chromatic doors, I guess.
So it seems.
These are, sorry. Ah, when did you...
I've been here the whole time.
Seriously? It doesn't see you at all.
I guess your hearing's starting to go. How sad.
Okay. So what do you want? What are you stalking
I'm
me?
not stalking
Why are you stalking me?
I just followed you here.
It's pretty much the same thing. But how did you do it? You were totally silent.
I already
Are you
told
Batman?
I'm not. Remember? Back in the AB room when we met?
Yeah, actually. You have to jump super high all the way up to the ceiling.
Right. Aren't you curious about that graffiti?
Graffiti. Don't ask me to decode that, I will cry. Mentamori of the Ninth Lion ate the sun. The kid write that or what?
Why do you say that?
Well, the man had to spell ninth wrong. What's an E in there? Cause you got it, it's just thinking what's it
You're
called,
right.
man? Maybe it means something.
Do you know what it means? The Latin part.
Yes. Hey, now give me a little credit. Even I know what Mentamori means, it's all over the place. As far as I know, it translates to something like, be aware of death, or remember your mortality. Never forget that we all die someday. Bit of a cautionary
What
thing.
about the other part?
The Ninth Lion that ate the sun? No. That's what it says in the tin, right? There's no about lions and suns. Anything about her come to
No,
mind?
nothing. Nothing at all. What about you?
Me? Huh. Well, let's see. Mentamori of the Ninth Lion ate the sun. Mentamori of the Ninth Lion ate the sun. Repeated that words over and over in my head, but nothing came. Whatever they meant, it was beyond me. Perhaps Phi?
Huh?
Latin? Huh? Don't you know Latin? Maybe you can figure more of it out.
Well, I know a little. More than most people, I guess, but I'm not an expert.
And how'd you know that phrase? Lapsium semellocasian? Non eps potes Jupiter? Reprehendere?
Oh, that. That's from, this.
Unpinned the brooch from her chest as she spoke and held it out to me. I hesitated for a moment, then I took it.
Look at the back.
Turned it over. A lapsium. Dude, this thing freaking floats. You see that? Lapsium semellocasian. Non ipse potes Jupiter. Reprehendere. Guess the I is pronounced like a J in Latin, huh?
Yeah,
What is this?
a memento of my late mother. Well, I guess it's something like a memento.
What does that
She
mean?
died right after I was born. I was raised by foster parents, and they told me where the brooch had come from. Apparently, it was the only thing my mother had left behind.
What about your
have
father?
one. I guess you could say I was a bastard. I never saw his face, and I don't know his name. I don't even know if he's alive.
Oh. Couldn't think of anything else to say, so I just handed her back the brooch.
That phrase got to be almost like a prayer for me. Whenever I had to make a tough decision, I'd say it to myself. Sometimes I'd just repeat it over and over like a chant. Before long, I had it memorized. Got me interested in Latin, and I started studying the language. Elapsum semel occasionum non ipsi protest Jupiter reprehendere. Not even Jupiter can find a lost opportunity. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But it seems kind of funny now. I mean, look at us. We've done what Jupiter can't. We can find our lost opportunities. That's why I followed you here. I thought it would be a good idea to talk to you about all this. Alone.
Yeah.
There's
I agree.
something else we need to do too, though.
Find the number 2 bomb.
Exactly. So we should get going. I'm pretty sure the bomb isn't in here. There's nowhere to hide it. So...
Saying we should go somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Well, come on, don't just stand there. We need to get a move on.
Without waiting for a reply, she turned and started towards one of the exits. I followed. I'm sorry. Archives. The archives. Good place to hide a bomb. Now where the heck do we start looking?
I doubt it really matters. If it's here, we'll find it eventually.
So, what about that Jupiter
We
stuff?
can talk while we look. Now get started.
Turned to the corner of the room and began to look while I spoke.
I'll start with a conclusion I've come to. Our consciousnesses seem to be able to jump through time. No, sorry. Through time isn't really accurate. It's more like we move through worlds.
Worlds?
Yes. I don't mean physical planets in this case. Talking about a whole different universe, really. Parallel worlds.
What?
Do you know about the many worlds interpretation?
Well, kind of. I think I've heard of it once or twice.
Oh, well, I'll just explain it. Let's say... I don't care what it is, but could you move? Scratch your head, cross your arms, put your hands on your hips. Anything?
I had no idea what this was supposed to explain, but I did as she asked.
Interesting choice. You clapped your hands, right? But you could have chosen to cheer or blow a kiss, right?
Blow a kiss? Wouldn't do.
Details don't matter. Just talking about possibilities here. Now, maybe there are other Sigmas in other worlds who did all of those things. All of these worlds and realities are branching off from one another. The choices you could have made branched off from the moment you decided what you were going to do just now. Every moment you make a decision, another universe branches off, on and on into infinity. Each of those branches is an alternate world. A world where a version of you did something different. Haven't you ever thought about what life would have been like if you'd made different choices? What if you'd gone to this high school instead of that one? What if you hadn't started a study group? What if you hadn't told that girl you liked her? What if? What if? But are those what ifs really just what ifs? Or are there other worlds out there where you did those things? Anyway, that's the many worlds interpretation in a nutshell. I've simplified it a lot. Doesn't have to be human actions, though. I just used your actions to make the explanation easier to grasp. The actions of a cat, the flight of a bee, the movement of a microorganism, even fluctuations in air temperature. All these can change history.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second there. All microorganisms lied, but there's no way that air is conscious or
Can
anything?
you say for sure that you are?
What?
All of your actions are caused by the cells in your brain. If we go down a little further, then you could say all of your actions are the result of atoms or electrons, or smaller particles we haven't even discovered yet. Are those atoms and electrons still you making a decision? At that level, how different are you from the air? I'd say not much.
If you want to be like a stinking nerd about it,
Human existence is just one part of reality. Falling in love is like a tulip blossoming. A tulip blossoming is like a tornado forming in South America. See what I'm saying? The only thing that really matters is the action of the most elementary particles of matter. That's where history happens. That's where universes branch out. Hey, you stopped. Are you done with that shelf?
oh, no,
Well,
not
keep
yet.
looking while I talk. How familiar are you with quantum physics? Never mind, don't answer that. I'll try and keep it simple for you. Let's see. Hey, hand me that box, will you?
This one? Sure. Handed the box I'd been examining over to her. She set it down on the desk and opened it. At the top.
Also, Ah, there's a stuffed lion over there. Perfect. He's part of Felidae, too.
With that, she grabbed the lion and tossed it unceremoniously into the box. Also took a weight and an ink jar and put them next to the lion.
Alright. Everything's ready.
Ready?
Remember that book in the crew quarters about Schrodinger's cat? It relates to all this stuff I've been talking about. Anyway, come look at the box.
What about looking
This'll
for the...
only take a minute. Now look.
I shrugged and peered into the box.
What do you see?
Well, there's a stuffed lion.
From now on, that's a cat. A living cat. This is important. Got it?
Yeah, it's a cat meow.
Oh man, this again?
Sorry. I can't help
I
it.
find that hard to believe. Ugh. Fine. Maybe I can just ignore it.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
Alright, what else do you see?
Oh wait, that's not even a pond. And a jar of ink.
Right. Now the weight is going to be radioactive material. And the jar of ink is full of poisonous gas.
What? I'm a kitten out of here.
Idiot. It's not really full of gas. This is just hypothetical. Imagine that it's full of gas. So, what's the weight?
Radioactive material.
And the jar of ink.
It's full of poison gas.
Exactly. Good work. Now, there's one other thing you need to know about the jar. If it's struck by any of the alpha particles the radioactive material emits, it'll break. These particles are emitted randomly, but there's a 50% chance that one of them will come into contact with the jar over the course of an hour. So let's close the lid. And pretend an hour has passed. Here's the question. Is the cat inside of the box alive or dead? You can't open the box to check. And you can't hit the box. Obviously, you can't shake it either. It's also been soundproofed, so the cat could be howling up a storm in there and you'd never know.
Both alive and dead, I
you
get
have
it.
no idea what's going on inside the box. Do you remember what happens if the alpha particles hit the jar?
It breaks, gas fills the box, and the cat inhales it and dies.
And what if the jar
Let's choose
doesn't
the way.
break?
The cat lives to tell the tale.
Ha-ha. And what are the chances of either of those things happening?
About 50%.
Uh-huh.
%.
So, what's your answer? Is the cat alive or dead?
I can possibly know.
Then guess. It's not hard. Alive or dead?
It's both. Though. Cat is paused for dramatic effect
Nope.
alive.
You're wrong. That's
It's dead?
wrong too.
That's the right
the
answer.
answer is that it's in a state where it is neither dead nor alive.
How does that make any sense?
It's an extrapolation of something we see at the atomic level. We don't know if an atom is spinning upward or downward until we measure it. Before it's measured, those two possibilities coexist. But as soon as the measurement is taken, obviously, only one possibility is the truth. That's what's happening with the alpha particles. Since we can't know when they were emitted or where, we only know the probability that they'll impact the jar. Because we can't observe anything that's happening in the box, that becomes the entire system. In other words, the box is like the atom. We don't know how the cat's life or death situation has resolved itself until we look at it. Until we do, it's just a bunch of possibilities. Do you get it? If the cat in the box is possibilities.
Both alive and dead.
Right. So, let's open the lid. And
Oh,
when we
frick, it's
do,
dead.
all the possibilities
All the
will
poison's spilling
collapse
out into the
a
air.
Single truth. Meow. What a relief, huh? Looks like the cat's alive. Anyway, that's Schrodinger's cat. The many worlds interpretation is one theory for explaining that weirdness.
There's another world out there where the
Yeah.
cat died.
That's the idea. Looks like that cat tick of yours cleared up.
Yeah. Well, your story was pretty insane. You don't think so? Just the idea of something being alive and dead at the same time. And the moment the lid is open determines whether or not the cat's dead then. It's almost like events in the future can determine the past. Cat doesn't die when you open the lid, so it must have already been dead.
Exactly. You've experienced it, haven't you?
What on earth are you talking
Think
about?
back. Remember round 2 of the AB game? When you chose Betray, what was my vote?
Ally?
But what happened this time?
I chose Ally and you chose Betray.
Right. And both times, I put in my vote a full minute before the deadline. When did you push the button?
Right before the deadline.
I see. Well, that makes this a little easier to explain. If you chose Betray, then my vote was Ally. If you chose Ally, then my vote was Betray. But I made my choices a whole minute before you made yours. Don't you think that's strange? You do see what I'm saying, don't you?
That my choice is the future altered. My choice in the future altered your action in the
Yeah.
past.
From your perspective, there's no other way to interpret it.
Now that I thought about it, round 1 had been the same. When I had chosen Ally, Alice had chosen Betray. And when I had chosen Betray, she'd done this opposite.
Look at this die. I found it over there. Let me give you one last example.
As she spoke, she tossed the die into the box and quickly shut the lid.
All right. Answer this question. What number is the die on?
I have a feeling it's 3.
Okay. I'm going to open the lid. Good job. You got it right.
That was just a fluke.
Was it?
Huh?
Let's think about what was going on before I opened the lid. What number was the die on?
2. 3, of course.
Haven't you been paying attention? The die is still a collection of atoms, isn't it? I don't think you can reasonably suggest that it was made of some different kind of matter.
So I thought you meant before you threw it in, it was starting 2 up. Saying that before you opened the lid, the die was on all the numbers.
Uh-huh. That's one way to look at it, at least.
And then when you opened the lid, it was just one
Or
number.
it might have become that number when you declared which one it was.
Huh? How did
Your
you mean?
choice in the future has an effect on the past.
That's crazy.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. We got a little off topic there, but I think I made my point. Reality separates off into an infinite number of branches for each and every possibility. You and I seem to be able to jump from branch to branch. Of course, our bodies aren't doing the jumping. Our consciousnesses just sort of dive into other versions of ourselves in other worlds.
Whoa. I think I get it now. That's how you knew my name, right? You jumped in from another world. That's how you knew all the things that others knew, all those other things you shouldn't have known.
That's the best I can figure out, at least. Unfortunately, it seems like we don't retain all our memories when we jump. Maybe we only remember particularly important things. I'm not sure how it works. But whatever the reason, it seems to be fairly limited. And often, we don't seem to remember jumping at all. Things will just sort of pop up.
That's why when someone asks us how we know X, all we can think of is to say, I just knew. See. What's causing this then? I don't remember ever doing this before, so why would it start now?
If we knew that, I don't think we'd be having so much trouble. It's just...
Just
well,
what?
I'm pretty sure it has to do with why we're locked up in here. There's no way this doesn't have something to do with whatever Zero Senior's trying to do. Why would he have left that Schrodinger's cat book in the crew quarters?
You aren't kidding, are you? Maybe this is some sort of huge Schrodinger's cat experiment, and all 9 of us are locked up inside the box, right,
What
meow?
if you've got it backwards?
Backwards.
We're outside of the box, and the rest of the world is inside.
The moment we step out of this place,
We might be determining the history of the world outside.
no way. I had 1,000 other questions before I could open my mouth to ask them. Sherry?
Oh, good. There you are.
Did something happen?
Yes. We found it.
Found what?
What do you mean, what? What else could we find?
Yeah, come on.
The bomb. The other antimatter bomb. The number 2 bomb is in the control room. Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Is this it?
This is one of them, all right.
And then it's number 2, apparently. Well, at least we found them all now.
No. There could be more.
Yes.
Like Kay said, there might be a number 4 bomb out there. We have no way to know.
Or an E. Clover, are you okay? You're not smiling.
Well, not
Did you
really.
see... Tell anyone else about this, Clover?
I wasn't the first person to find it.
Who was?
Kay and Luna. After they found it, they came to the infirmary and told the rest of us.
Who was in the infirmary?
Everyone. Tenmyoji and Dio were there,
So, does everyone know?
So
I
were
mean,
Alice
why
and
did you
Pablo, of
sugarcoat it?
although they were still asleep.
So everyone who wasn't asleep knows about the bomb. I see.
Yeah.
Nobody else here, though? Where'd they all
Right
go?
after we came here to look at the bomb, they all left. They were going to go look for you two.
What about Alice and Quark?
They're the same. Still sleeping. We checked them out just to be sure, but they seemed fine.
That's good. Fine, I looked at one another, then a small sigh of relief.
Oh, right. I checked everybody's bracelets when we were in the infirmary. Did you want to know what they were?
Took her only a moment to explain. Alice is green, 3 solo. Quark is a 7 solo blue. Dio's is a 7 pair. Oh frick. And Myoji is a cyan pair. But the numbers don't matter. So what are our options
The
for
next
groups?
set of doors to open are going to be the white doors. That means we'll have to mix our colors so that we get white.
Option A, find a Myoji will pair me.
Huh? There's only one option?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Any other combinations don't make white.
What about Alice and Quark? And instead it's going to be a while until they
We'll
wake
just
up.
have to carry them. The secondary doors won't open without 3 bracelets. And if we can't open them...
Get penalized.
Exactly.
Don't worry about Alice. I'm on her team.
Are you saying you can carry her?
Yeah. Well, I can get Luna to help me.
True. I'm sure
Really?
she'd be happy to help. He's
What about
on
Quark?
Kay's team. There shouldn't be any issues there.
And we have the normal team, let's go. Well, semi-normal. Grandpa is still Grandpa. Well, we still need to figure out what we're going to do about this bomb. Alice said we should be safe as long as it's not triggered with the remote.
Maybe, but we can't just leave them here forever. I mean, if they go off, then everything in like a couple 100 kilometers is gonna get fried.
Wait, a couple 100 kilometers? What are you talking about? The bomb should only have about as much explosive power as a ton of TNT, which is nothing to sniff at, but nowhere near that kind of yield you're talking
It could
about.
be. What if these bombs are just like the detonator?
Oh. You mean there might be a bunch more of anti-hydrogen around here somewhere? Yep, right over there.
The reactor.
Yeah. There are supposed to only be 18 antimatter reactors in the whole world. If that's one of them, then there's a lot of anti-hydrogen.
Why do you know that? If there's just 18 anti-hydrogen or hydrogen reactors just chilling. How much is a lot?
3.5 kilograms.
A 21-year-old woman in 2028, not that far into the future. You're just thinking, like, what are you doing? You're a zoomer. You're like, oh, what if I just look up how many hydrogen plants are out there? And then I'll take that to heart. 10,000 times more than Alice's 350 mg.
There really is that much. And if it does explode,
Then we would be looking at an explosion roughly 10,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
No. That's insane.
Wait, Clover, how did you know that?
know what?
That stuff about antimatter reactors.
Well, that's, during my training, they...
Training for what?
My job?
Ah, of course. I didn't realize waiters these days needed to memorize how many operational antimatter reactors there were worldwide, or how much fuel each one of those reactors might be storing. You don't work at a cafe, do you?
Hear about that from Alice?
Yeah.
Well, she's right then.
And why are you using antimatter reactors at a cafe?
That's, what we call the coffee machines.
What are you flipping with me?
I'm telling you the truth. I work at a cafe. It just might, be a kind of fake job to divert attention. I think they call it a cover.
What?
Then what's your real job?
I'm sorry. I really can't tell you anything else.
Why not?
It's classified.
Classified by whom?
Government?
The government?
That's right. Alice said it was her job to eliminate enemies of the state, or something. So you two do work together.
Oh no! Check your bracelets. How much time do we have left?
What are you talking
How
about?
long until the doors open? Come on, quickly!
You can do it too. We have an hour. We were supposed to meet up 5 minutes ago.
I'm heading back then.
Friday we were supposed to meet up.
Remember, we're supposed to meet at the infirmary. You guys hurry back, okay? Bye!
Hey, you haven't. Damn it. And she's gone. Fine, she's right. You know we
Hold
have to get
on.
going.
I need to check something really quick.
Oh, what?
Oh, there you are. You're late. What were you doing?
Nothing.
When we arrived, everyone else was already back. Clark and Alice hadn't left, of course. They were both sleeping instantly. Any traces of the madness we'd seen earlier, long gone.
Clover told us. You've seen the bomb in the control room.
Yeah, with her own
What the
eyes.
hell should we do? That makes 3 bombs.
Well, we have to do something. They're bombs, for God's sake.
There's a quick and simple solution.
Really?
Remember what Alice said?
There should be an emergency deactivation password. If you enter that password, the device should, well, deactivate. You see it? Right here. There's a port. If we can find the password input device, we just connect it here. Then we can enter the password.
So, if we have the password, we can deactivate them?
Whoa, hold on a second. That's great and all, but we need that password input device she was talking about. Without that, we're still boned even if we did have the password.
Not a problem. We've resolved that issue.
Huh?
Show them.
I nodded and pulled it out of my pocket.
That was in the safe in the control room.
Exactly. Didn't have any idea what it was at first, but I figured it out. Clover left, we tested it.
Turned out I was right. It fit perfectly.
Couldn't get it to do anything though. Plugged in a couple of random characters, but all we got was an error.
Still, I'm sure this is the thing Alice was talking about. We just
The
didn't have the
Blackberry.
right password.
But why was it in the control room?
Do you think Zero Senior put it here for us?
That would suggest it was also Zero Senior who set up the bombs.
Doesn't that seem odd, though? Zero Senior wants us to play the nonary game, right? So why would he set bombs?
Maybe he wants to blow this whole place up if someone commits some crazy violation of the rules?
That doesn't make sense. Our bracelets already have poison in them. If someone breaks a rule, all he has to do is activate their bracelet.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, whatever the case is, there's one thing we can be sure of. The person who set these bombs is one of us. Whether or not that person is also Zero Senior isn't particularly relevant at the moment. But what is relevant is that they know the deactivation password. If we can figure out who that person is and question them,
We can get the password and turn the bombs off.
exactly. That would be my quick and easy method. So fess up. Which one of you set the bombs?
Yeah, Fee, that'll really do it. It's brilliant.
Not that I expect you to do that. So, we're going to be checking everyone.
Checking us?
Yes. Once they're set, the bombs are controlled by a remote. It stands to reason that whoever set them has that remote.
So you're gonna search us for it?
Yes.
But
No buts. If you refuse, that implicates you. Do what I say and you'll be fine, assuming you are actually innocent. Understand? No reason to wait. Let's get started. Anyone want to volunteer to go first? No? Alright. Let's see. Huh?
Wait. You only need to search one
What?
person.
Why?
Because I figured it out who did it. I know who did it. Words were out of my mouth. Words were out of my mouth before I'd even realized I was saying them.
How can you... There's no way.
Yeah. My body's gazed and nodded to turn away. I know who set the bombs. That person? You did it. Room was suddenly silent. I'm gonna guess this is the true path. Be continued. That felt like the truth path to me, at least as of right now. So. Sorry, alright, then let's continue. I wasn't really trying to do a puzzle right now, but we have to. What color are we doing? We're going... Oh, we're just saying no. No. That's
Why
not
not?
okay. Because...
Oh no, this is bad. Which door do you want then? The only other choices are A and C.
I thought about it again. I went with A, the Luna, now we end up paired with Clover, and we go through the green door. Other hand, if I chose C, we'd be going through the blue door with Alice. So which one did I want? I decided to go with... We're going with Clover? We haven't been with Clover yet, so that must be what it is. One option A. Take Clover and go through the
What
green
gives
door.
you the power to just decide that?
That's fine by me. Like I said before, there's something I want to talk to Alice about.
Are you going to tell me what this thing is?
That'll have to wait. Talk to me again on the other side.
Ugh. Now I'm curious.
So you're fine with this, Alice? With option A, I mean?
Do whatever you want. I don't care.
Are there any other objections? Okay, that's it then.
Okay, it was the green door. I just wanted to make sure.
Let's go, everybody.
10 seconds
Mentally on beat.
remain until chromatic doors close. 9, 8, 7.
Quickly nodded to one another and split up. Timmy, Yuji, Dio, and Alice headed through the red door. Kay, Quark, and Fi made their way to the blue one. Schlunk, 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 schlunk. Gaping maw of the green door bounced in front of me. Clover, Luna, and I ran towards it.
2, 1, 0. Chromatic doors closing.
Chromatic doors closing. I wish to pull up the what's it called, please. Plus we're about to be 40 minutes in anyway, so slash marker territory. Is betray always right? Betray. And it's the shorter path, so I guess we can. I mean, I'll probably just use ally first because it feels right to me.
Is this a dead end?
But I'll be right back.
All 3 doors seem to be locked.